Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to IndiaSkills preparation. Yes, the online workshop to prepare you for the IndiaSkills competition by introducing the modules of the skills, how you can prepare, what you can do, and what are the modules that are going to be there in the IndiaSkills competition. So today we'll have the same way like we had it earlier. 11 o'clock, graphic design technology, 12 o'clock, 3D digital game design, 1 o'clock, industrial design technology, and 2 o'clock, print media technology. All the four skills of media and entertainment will be covered today. And we have experts who will be guiding you with the modules, with the information on the modules, and guide you how you can start your preparation. And next week, we are going to give you one workshop with the senior experts. They are going to tell you about the test modules, how you can, how you'll get scored, what kind of marking will be there. These things will be discussed in the next week workshop. So to start with today, let me introduce our very distinguished speaker for graphic design technology. Today, the topic is visual design. Visual designing is a broad term, and Mr. Bikramjit Singh is going to cover that. He's a career mentor at Skill, full of experience, illusion, and life learnings. He's currently working with VirtualSoft Technology, Chandigarh, as a project manager. He's involved in management of projects of domain like web, video, 2D, 3D. He has handled numerous offshore projects in various genres of multimedia. He's a mentor, graphic design and UI with Chandigarh Design School, and he guides students throughout their M&E course position to recognize their strength by polishing the skill and eventually choose wisely in their career. And now he's here to guide us with the competition. So welcome, Bikramjit sir. Thank you for accepting this proposal, our request to be here to guide the students on visual design.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you very much. I've been mentoring students since last 2 decades, so it has become a part of my life. Without wasting any more time, I would like to start with, because my presentation is, I've calculated the slides. It's going beyond the time. So I know you have back-to-back seminars right now, today. So I'll begin right away.
Yes, please, sir.
Gee.
You have the screen sharing right, sir. And if it's extending, we can adjust it for like 10 more minutes. So no issues. Thank you. Over to you.
Fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope my screen is visible with all of you guys.
Yes.
Gee. So today we'll be approaching World Skills competition with of course, with a zeal and from a broader bracket or an eagle eye view, so that you have not a clogged brain. You're open-minded whenever you're sitting in the competition and attempting the same. So I'll be giving you an approach on how you can successfully take on this competition. So let us start with, because a number of slides are a little bit more. So quickly, to begin with, of course, the broader picture, graphic design and print. I don't know how many students are there in for the print part, but then they could have understood that before printing they have to design. So we are here giving parting education regarding the visual design. So visual is what? Visual is a graphic, correct? It may be a film, it may be a picture, any site, illustration could be there. So which we can see, that is visual. And then we have the design. Design is not art. This is one thing I like to share among each one of you. Design is not an art. Design is a solution to a problem statement. If to put in words, you can say that, okay, the looks and functioning or workings of an object or a system. It could also be implementation of an activity or process. But being a designer, you should understand that, okay, we are designing a solution for the problem. Okay, so let us proceed ahead. Of course, will be targeting my, or I'll be targeting my whole presentation in and around world skills, but then there will be overview also. So how to approach, let's say, world skill category, of course, graphic and print design. The approach will be, please consider the test as an assignment or a project which comes to you, given to you by a real client, and you have to assess each point of it to make it a success. We'll be approaching world skill competition in the same manner. And I'm sure you'll be success, of course. So when we talk about project or an assignment, especially as a test over here in world skill competition, the broader categories which will be covered under the graphic and design, or shall I say the assignments which will be covered under the category graphic and print design will be the editorial, the advertising, the information, the brand development, which includes everything, the business kit and each element of it. If I have to tell you that, okay, what exactly will be there in world skills, then here is the exact keywords you are looking for. The editorial design and new media category will have magazine cover, or probably inside leaflet, restaurant menu, booklet, etc. Packaging design, regular boxes, tray box, tier open packaging, label, etc. Corporate and information design, business card, logo, letterhead, signalization, symbols, graphs, tables, wayfinding, etc. Advertising and display design will include poster, banner, billboards, car mapping, full page advertisement, large format, etc. Okay, so these are the keywords you should have in your mind, and you should be clear about it. I'll be giving you an insight on how to design in one or more categories, which is there on your screen. So you will have a complete overview of what we are heading for. So the assignment handling, as I already mentioned, let's take it as a project given to you by a real client. So handling an assignment in an organized manner will be the first most important thing. Okay, should be at the back of your head. The first most important thing which should be at the back of your head should be handling the assignment in an organized manner. The designing will come at the later part, or may go parallel, but then organization is very important. So what all do we need, or what is covered in organization? from naming of the folders and the subfolders, proper nomenclature. That okay, this is the source folder, this is the reference folder, this is the utility folder, this is the typography folder, this is the output folder. So the folder with the proper name should be there, and accordingly the subfolders also with the proper name. This will save you time as well as in the test, as well as in the live projects you'll be doing post this, probably working in a company or being an entrepreneur at your own end. Then the layers, understanding the problem statement, what exactly has been given to you, the layers, the proper structuring of the layers, the arrangement of the layers, the rubrics. Rubrics is on the basis you'll be judged on. You should be clear about it. You can go through the old tests and all, which have been there already in the World Skill Competition in Kazan and Abu Dhabi, and you can see okay how the rubrics have been given to the earlier candidates, so that you have a clear understanding of what or how exactly you'll be judged on your work. I often talk about portfolio to every student of mine, that okay, develop your portfolio, it may help you getting a job. Now, people do usually make a mistake when we use the word portfolio. Portfolio is not the display of your work. Portfolio is your understanding of how you understand the assignment or the task. Note that this is going to be very important for you across your life. Portfolio is not your work display. It is the understanding of your project understanding. The HR in a smart company would always see that okay, how well do you understand the problem? How have you approached the project? The same will be the case in World Skill Competition. So let us see what in one slide, that what exactly do we mean by nomenclature and organizing and everything. I'll give you one such example. Let's check it out. You can see the layer structure of a software, could be Photoshop, Illustrator, or any other which is layer-based software. Now I have marked two boxes out there. One is in red, one have been outlined in red, and one in green. So you can see what is required and what is not required. The red is not required. Group 3 doesn't make any sense. Vector smart object, what all is there? You don't know. That is completely wastage of time. And some of the layers are off. Whenever you will be supposed to submit the layers, I mean the source file, there should be no layer which is off or which is not in use, which has not been used in the project, in the assignment, in the task. So let us see what is required or what a proficient designer would do, probably working alone or in a team, in a company. But of course, in WorldSkill, you'll be working alone. See the name of the group. It has been properly named as services offered. And the layers in that folder have been properly named. Proper nomenclature has been followed in that. I hope that makes it clear that, okay, what organization or organizing of the project is all about. It's not about a folder alone or the subfolders alone. It will go to source file. It will go to the layers in between, the output, even the output you'll be producing. For example, the JPEG output, you will have to give it a proper name in a fashion that, okay, this was the assignment name and assign it accordingly. I hope that makes my point very clear. So the approach, an organized approach, is very, very important. We'll be slowly proceeding to the design part. Let's see. Preparation, of course, the analyzing of the project. In practical life, you or a project manager always see or check that, okay, what is the budget of the client, what have been provided to us, how many hours are we going to devote, or how many hours are available for us to make that budget value to the project or the assignment. So along with that, typically in a world skill competition, remember that to ask yourself these questions. Okay, what? Understand the problem statement given to you. Understand it very carefully. Whom? For whom it is being developed for? How to deliver the tools? You cannot use, for example, a print tool for a raster and for a raster for a print. Although you can, of course, bring out the output cleverly and take it from one software to another, but then you should be clear with what all I'm going to use. Then where the platform, the medium, the output, JPG, if JPG is required, you cannot put in GIF or a PNG as an output, because that will cut down your marks or probably may eliminate you out of the contest. The milestones, okay, the hourly milestones, likewise I talked about the budget in a practical life. That, okay, for example, the collection or the R&D involves, let's say, 1 day. Then pre-production involves 4 days. And probably, let's say, 12 days have been assigned to the actual production. And of course, the post-production, where the editing will come. The client will ask you for that, okay, kindly rearrange the following formats or the tools, etc., for the same. So the word skill will have it in a one go. Then the next important point will be, of course, the milestone that we have already talked about, the allocation of the time according to the milestone. Why? The purpose of the assignment. So these are the important questions you should always ask for, maybe in the word skill competition and as well as in the practical life whenever a project is assigned to you. This will always help you understand each and every stage of the project as well as the aspect of the project. And these are critical to make a project successful in time as well as the value and the design. If you don't know what exactly is required by the client and you start making a graphic blindly, you will keep coming back and forth from the client and may face rejection. So take care. Let us proceed. So over here, the competition specific, the world skill competition specific, design major will be there, the minute details needed, the rubrics, the output required, as I have already told in the previous slide, the breakdown of the project, everything matters. Design, of course, will be the major one. Now, for any typical preparation, I always suggest the candidates that, okay, a practice of 10 is always greater than 100 of theory. So practice, practice, and practice. That will bring you laurels, not in the test as well as in the life. You will be success in any case. Practice. Let's see what all entailed in infographic. Don't restrict yourself to the infographic. We'll be covering each of it, each of the, or maybe more than 2 or 3 mediums I've already categorized in the starting of the slides. So graphic, as already discussed, it is a visual representation of information, data, knowledge, intended to be presented quickly and clearly. This is specific to infographic. Then there is brand kit, there is advertisements, which have a purpose. Similarly, here the purpose is intended to be presented quickly and clearly, and the data should instantly, the information should instantly strike the viewer. Infographics specifically are made for the ease of human ability to understand the patterns and the trends. The graph charts, the timeline charts, all the companies use them in their annual general meeting. Likewise, Mr. Mukesh Ambani used it in the Reliance AGM just yesterday. So these are very important part of graphic design. We'll be seeing in future slides what all entails there. What all terms are we going to discuss today? So here are the keywords, the cloud of the keywords. We'll be discussing, or at least probably going through or peeping through each one of it. Typography, space, scale, hierarchy, color, data, info, shapes, icon, list, graph, chart. So the keywords in the last line are the outputs. I've actually added more in the slides, but then the elements above or the principles, they will collectively help you design good. So shapes is the first thing which comes to our mind we should use to design any element, or probably the logo, the screen for Instagram or print or anything. The geometric shapes, organic and abstract. These are the basic shapes or the primary shapes which are there. It may, your logo may be made out of any one of them. We will see in future slides. Let's see geometric shapes. The first thing which comes to our mind is the square. the circle and the triangle. But there is a psychology attached to using of each shape. The shape with straight lines and angles usually symbolizes the structure and order, while the shapes with curves are softer, and of course they represent connection and community. They are more friendlier. So we'll be doing a little bit of brainstorming session, looking at some of the logos, and then you will understand that, okay, how these shapes matter whenever you are designing, how these elements are important to us, what they mean to us. So let us see some of the squares and rectangles used in the earlier past. There are more to it, we'll be seeing. But then if you can see, Pinterest, Domino's, Windows, Lego, and lot of them are there. If you Google, you can definitely find your PC screen, your laptop screen, the pizza boxes which come, all use squares or the rectangles. So what does exactly the squares and rectangles mean? I'm not going to go through all of the text, but then you can notice the keyword written at top page. It means the stability. It provides it. It visualizes. It symbolizes stability. Then there are triangular shapes. You can see the examples of some of the triangles being used by the famous companies. Adidas, Adobe, even Google Drive, Qantas, they have all used triangles for their logos. Of course, they are the natural shapes. The mountains are natural. The pyramids have been made out of this. The pencils, all of them, whatever is there in the triangular shape. So what exactly does triangular shapes mean? What do they depict? They depict strength. They depict action. Let's see the third one, the circular shapes. Of course, you can see on the screen that our planets and even the sun are round, which is circular. In a similar fashion, Wikipedia, Burger King, NASA, Mercedes, all have used rounded logos for their branding. So what does the circular shapes mean? Wholesome, the friendliness, the completeness, the gracefulness. The oval or the circular represent all these. Let us do some brainstorming and see which, or based on the last slides, the information I have rendered to you, can you answer which one is more friendlier? Is it the circle or is it the square? Of course, your answer will be circle. Because it does not have hard edges to it. Hard edges, of course, will hurt you. Like even if the iron is blunt, it has hard edges and it will hurt you. But then the circular shapes are soft. The children are given soft toys. All have soft corners. Okay, let's move on to the second slide in this. Which one is more trustworthy? Now what we will say, based on the keywords I've shown you previously, you will say, of course, yes, the square is the part. The square is the answer. Correct. Now let's see how we can cleverly manage and use a composite of it. Just notice the change I've done. I've composited a circle or an oval with the square. I've given a rounded edges to that. So now the left side part, the rounded rectangle or the rounded square, composites both of it. So it means that you have added double meaning to it. You have added double value to it. Okay, the use of colors. After shapes, let's see how colors can be used cleverly. Using color for attention, just remember that they have psychological value which may impact big. But we have to move universally or globally accepted with in world skill competition. Of course, you'll be keeping at the back of your head the colors which are globally accepted and use that accordingly to your assignment. So here blue represents cool, white as a pure, and red as a loud. So red is the first color which catches the attention because it is loud. Then double check your foreground content when you are using with a specific color in the background. That will be very important. Let's see the practicality check. Which one is louder? Of course, you will say the circle with the filled color is louder. Yeah. Now, the circle on the screen have same shape, but with different colors. Can you answer which one is safer? So, of course, you will say yes, the blue is more safer. The red resembles the red light. That means the stop or the caution. See, the form is same. Just by changing the color, how it is changing the meaning of it. So you have to very carefully combine all these elements and render your assignment. Let's check out another slide, and I've kept the form same, but I've changed the color. Now is where the challenge starts. The blue versus the green. So this will be a homework for you to judge. Chali, let us see. Now, here, I'm trying to make it more complicated, like was in the previous slide. I'm trying to make it more complicated. Now there are two different forms, but along with two different colors, but in opposite shapes. I mean, the colors have been given in the opposite shapes. Now they will have a totally different meaning. So a careful use of colors as well as forms, a combination, is very, very important for any designer, maybe sitting for the test in the world skill or probably in the practical assignments. Then the third element would be the typography. We did cover shapes, we did cover the colors. Now let us check out the typography. The choice of the font becomes very important. And then of course, the hierarchy and the scale. For example, in this page, you can see title. Title is the largest at this point of time. Then there is subtitle line, style of written words, and have been given smaller weight and have been put second in the hierarchy. Then there is the content text or the body text, usually called. The font size is even smaller over there. So along with the choice of the font, you have to give it a proper scale and hierarchy. Serif or sans serif, of course, we know that, okay, there are two types. and the choice of the font becomes very important. Which one are you going to use? A typical tip would be stick to two fonts that are easy to read. If you move more than, above two fonts, it creates chaos. It gives a touch of amateur. Now remember, readability will be the first, or it should be the first focus while choosing a font. Whether you're designing a visiting card, whether you're designing a leaflet, brochure, or anything, readability should be the first one. Of course, additionally, kerning or the tracking and leading will help you adjust the readability. Kerning is the space between the the letters. Tracking is the space between the characters, and leading is the space vertically, which we call line space between the lines. Let us see when we apply logics and the shapes together to develop a logo. So we can do a brainstorming here, but then the time is a little limited, so we will proceed quickly with this. I've given a rounded shape to a square, so stability and friendliness is there, and the triangle shapes in between, which represent energy. So this logo is purely based on geometric shapes. Let us see some other examples we've done. Now these are the logos or the icons made purely based on abstract shapes. So this could be another challenge, using the logic, using the abstract shape. What shape are you going to design to develop a logo? So the left side, you can see the logo designed, and on the right side, you see the icons, which are usually used when you see a list of apps, or probably at the website top. These are basically are usually in squarish format, 32 by 32 pixels, 64 by 64 pixel, and so on. Then let's see another form of logic logos, how carefully the designer has applied to and what logic he has used. For example, the Exotica homes, you can look, the E shape has been used in smaller alphabet, and then he has added a shed to it, and wonderfully a logo has come out of it. So these are the clever use of shapes and the logics. Let's see the business cards. Of course, I'll be showing you a complete kit in future slide, but then let us concentrate on the business card. Now, I've titled it specifically Friends, Guides and Grids. You know why? The guides and grids are the best friends you have ever to design anything. You can see on the right that, okay, a visiting card is there, but I have given it two margin lines inside the business card. So one is the text shape. That means your text should fall in between this guide. But then what does the outer line mean? That means the graphic should continue to the end, but nothing important should be laid out on the outer edges, because there could be some errors. It could be some 1 mm or 2 mm error by the cutter, where you may lose important part of your graphic. So the margins should be there. So text safe and the margin safe, action safe we call it, should be taken care of. So use of guides and grid becomes very important. Then let's see listing, a product information, how it can be displayed. This infographic on the right shows everything. This is very familiar to all of us. It has composited a picture, the title, the offer, the price, everything. So this is a complete composite picture. This listing, this type of listing, this is only a name twist. It is used by every app. It may be a music app or any e-commerce app. It is used in the menus. It is used in the products and services information everywhere. Where not, including the websites. Then the leaflet brochure. A proper leaflet brochure, whenever you're designing, a proper leaflet brochure should have all these. The choice of the font you have done, as I've already told you in the previous slide, the color palette you're trying to use, and of course, understanding the client or his preferences or the brand and the color psychology. Now, there is a beautiful example below where we've designed a brochure. The black line in the center represents the fold. But then you can again see the guides we have used to design it. How cleverly the content has been placed. How it has been organized. So we can generally term it as a good infographic. Fine. Let's see. Another brochure, the first page and the last page on the sides, and then the middle page. I've specifically hidden the name of the client. I put up a rectangle over it. But then this is the best infographic. A 3D shape has been used, AutoCAD shapes have been used, line art have been used. This will let you know each and every product, the features of it, and of course, the prices and all. Okay, now this is the complete brand set. The logo, the visiting card, the envelope, letterhead, invoice, and the merchandise. So you may get a problem statement in WorldSkill where you may have to design it as a complete set. So this slide, the image in the slide represents a theme, the color theme, and other shapes which have been used to represent the brand. Okay, this is the digital one. From logo towards splash screen and the middle screens, the complete screens, logo, the graphic, the typography, the images. Of course, the images were already available on the net, but then they have been color adjusted to match the background or the theme of the app, to make it rich and look like a part and not like being left aside or alone. Then what else can be there in the graphic? A simple flow chart, which may represent a linear staging. A complex flow chart, a mix of a linear and non-linear. You can see the designer's ability, the designer's skill, how he has cleverly put up all the information, how he has cleverly designed or used the colors and the typography to design a wonderful piece. So, as I repeated, practice, practice, and practice. Study, practice, study, practice. That will make you perfect. Then, of course, For the digital platforms, the design of the menus, the buttons, sliders, search bars, everything. It should be part of one theme. Sorry, Pooja ma'am, I know the time we are running out. But
No worries, sir. Please carry on.
I think I was expecting actually the print students also to be part of it because they have to design. I don't know how many students are there, but then this is important for them also.
I'll let them know, sir. Print
Hmm.
session is scheduled at 2 o'clock, so I'm going to tell them that they can watch the session.
Yes, because we are talking about designing over here.
Yes,
Printing will be the second part. If your
right.
design is not worth, printing will of course become worthless.
Yes.
So here is some example of here the data graphs and the charts, various data graphs and the charts. So I've specifically written that it is not pick and choose. A pie graph cannot be used in place of a line chart or a bar graph because it may not be able to represent the data or the trend or the pattern. So a careful use of the data charts, the bar graphs becomes very important. So a designer should understand, of course, I will come to the very first point where I said, okay, understand the problem, whatever you're going to present. So this is the best slide to understand, okay, this data cannot fit in a pie chart. So which one is appropriate to represent the data? So it could be a bar graph or the line graph. So use that. Actually, let us see the comparison charts. Of course, the product comparison chart. This is a very common site. You can open up any e-commerce site and you can see. So the typography, the placement, the spacing, the small use of icons, the product images, how they have been used cleverly and clearly. Remember my line that, okay, infographic is data presentation which quickly adapts or get into the mind, which leaves a picture in the mind of the user to make them understand very quickly and clearly. So this is one good example of it. Left side, all the features, and then on the top, all the products. And just notice that the product imagery has been cut as an abstract and has been given a little drop shadow to be part of the theme, so that no one product becomes or seems to be out of this category here. So you can see a wonderful example over here, the use of the ticks and the stars. They have a lot of meaning, a bigger meaning to it. And it quickly, you can quickly grab that, okay, yes, this is the product that fulfills my needs. It could be probably to your budget or your liking. Next is the time-based charts, the timeline, we usually call it, the milestones. So here is one good example that, okay, a company performed in 2019, or a company acquired something on various stages in the timeline. So this is also a linear one. Then the instructional charts. How do you do a particular job step by step? So this is a good example. Then the instructional charts that, okay, you go from one stage to another, then to another, and then you fall back. I mean, you fall in a loop until and unless you are perfect and your product is out there to be presented to the market. So the loop in the end will only break when you have iterated it to the maximum possible time as per the client requirement and the project understanding. Then some infographic, not part of the word skill. I'll quickly go through it. The mind maps, the butterfly diagram, they are more typical to the UI designers. Okay, so quickly, I'll proceed towards the end of this session. I hope this may have added a value to your understanding. Let us see, let us be clear about what points we should keep in mind, or what ancillary you'll be given, what are instructions they're going to give you. So we are well prepared in advance. You should be handy with the Adobe Creative Suite. Currently, you may be working on Windows. Of course, once you clear this stage at IndiaSkills, you will be given training to work on Mac. The Pantone color shades will be provided to you as a reference. The booklet with the hexadecimal color values will be given to you. Of course, the Adobe Creative Suite will be already installed in the PC, which will be given to you in the word skill, of course. Then a collection of 50 typographs, the fonts. If you specifically have some fonts which you want, which you may want to use, you can take it in your pen drive or a hard drive, detachable hard drive, and you can give it prior to the competition to the station master over there. He will install the fonts for you. He may install a typical software also, but then it should have a product key. It should be an original. The Adobe Creative Suite will be provided to you already. Okay, now a few tips. Before going to the tip, no references, no clip arts, no cell phones or digital devices are allowed inside the arena. So take care. Okay, now come back to the tip. We have talked about logos. We have talked about so many brochures and leaflets. 3D could come a little bit handy. So prepare yourself, or at least be acquainted with the 3D utility in the Illustrator. You never know when you can, you may design, you may need a design in 3D which may fit, or which may fit into the assignment role. So this could come handy. So start exploring that tool in Illustrator. You can falsify 3D also in Photoshop and other softwares by giving little bevel or drop shadow and like that. Those utilities. You can falsify 3D also. So that may come handy. But take care whether you're drawing it for, you're making an assignment for digital or print. Print may not cleverly handle the drop shadows. So they need to be much more flatter. Okay, let's proceed quickly. Again, let's recap. Understanding the problem statement, what is required, careful and clever use of shapes, colors, space, etc. Careful choice of type for readability and the layout, the hierarchy. And of course, don't forget organizational skills. Of course, there will be rubrics, which will be told by, or may be told by the senior officials after this 4-day workshop to you, so that you are clear with how the marking goes. Every marker, every assignment has 3 markers. I mean, the judge, 3 judges, they will assign you, the paper will be of 100 and you may be judged on 50 odd rubrics. Chaliye, and don't forget practice, practice and practice. I'll repeat again, 10 practical is greater than 100 of theory. Well, that ends my presentation, and I hope this presentation have been will be very valuable whenever you're sitting next designing your next assignment. Thank you, Pooja ma'am. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, sir.
I know I have overtaken some of the part of the other candidate, but then it's all over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vikram sir, for your time you have taken out to explain all this. It's really wonderful listening to you, and I'm sure everybody is going to practice before the first online screening, before the online assessments starts for IndiaSkills competition. Although this is just the introduction to the modules and the details, a little details, deep dive into the subject will be done later in the boot camps as we proceed. So with this, I'd like to thank you. So we may start with the other session in another 4 minutes. So whoever is joining for 3D can join in another 4 minutes. Thank you so much, Vikram sir. Pleasure having you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. See you.